Hey everybody, this is Rob Benedict, and I got a recommendation for you. This is really fun. It's a fictional chat show about friendship at the end of the world. It's called World Gone Wrong. World Gone Wrong is it's a cozy chat show hosted by best friends Malik and Jamie, and it's set in a wildly fictional world. So Malik and Jamie discuss topics like, what do I do if my ex-boyfriend gets taken over by an alien body snatcher? That age-old question. How worried should I be about sewer alligators reading maps in downtown Chicago? Which, that's not so much science fiction, that's real. Should I change my office hours to accommodate the vampire student in the class? That seems only reasonable. Or what is the deal with that guy showing up in all our old pictures? You might have a ghost issue. You see what I'm getting at? This is a show that's set in a supernatural world and just purporting to be a normal old chat show. It's super fun, and the message is kind of living through the apocalypse is hard, but it's easier with friends. Learn more at audaciousmachinecreative.com. That's audaciousmachinecreative.com. They release episodes bi-weekly on Tuesdays. And it's from the team that brought you Unwell, a Midwestern Gothic mystery. They know what they're doing. So check it out. World Gone Wrong from Audacious Machine Creative.
There is so much talk about women's hormonal health, which is great. But even though it's a bigger part of the conversation, most women are left even more confused about what it means for them and what to do about it, which is not so great. This confusion ends now. An award-winning German nutrition scientist created a powerful herbal formula called Hormone Harmony, which combines 12 powerful adaptogens into one single capsule. Each of these ingredients is carefully selected based on scientific evidence, and it's been proven effective in clinical studies for women of various ages and hormonal profiles. And Happy Mammoth, the company that produces Hormone Harmony, is famous for its zero-compromise policy. No GMOs, artificial fillers or flavors, or any other junk. Only science-backed ingredients in amounts that are clinically proven. The company surveyed over 1,500 women to see how Hormone Harmony helped them, and the results are mind-blowing. 86% of women started losing weight, 77% say it improved their mood, and 100% said they're feeling like themselves again. Hormone Harmony has over 50,000 raving reviews from women all over the world, with 98% of them saying they'd gladly recommend it to their friends and family. For a limited time, you can get 15% off on your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code HAPPYME, HAPPYME, at checkout. That's code HAPPYME at happymammoth.com for 15% off your entire first order.
In 2005, two brothers hit the road to fight monsters. That road has led them to fighting demons, angels, and saving the world.
It's a journey that is taking them to heaven, hell, and back. But they aren't done.
Join our journey as we go episode by episode, following the adventures of Sam and Dean Winchester. We break each episode down with the writers, producers, directors, crew, and actors to bring you the behind-the-scenes stories of how this legendary TV series was made. That guy right there, that's Rob Benedict. He played God and Chuck Shirley.
Hey, and that guy there, that's Richard Spade Jr. He played Gabriel, Loki, and the Trickster. And P.S., he directed a bunch of episodes, too.
Now, while we are insiders, we're also outsiders, because we're not experts. This is our first time watching the entire series, all 327 episodes.
Rich and I have met many of the fans at conventions around the world, and we are deepening our understanding of why you all love this series so much. Because it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Now, listen. There will be spoilers, so consider yourself warned.
And thank you for joining us on this trip we call Supernatural Then and Now. Hey everybody, it's Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate Jr.
And this is a very special Spotlight episode where we get to talk to Matt Frewer, who played, among many, many, many things, Pestilence.
That dude has been on all things for all time.
All things Matt Frewer. And that's what this episode is. Every once in a while, we do like to do a very special Spotlight episode, and it's a chance to talk to someone who worked on the show, not specifically about a specific episode, but just to talk to that person and go beyond just the show. And yeah, we're shining it on Matt Frewer today. It's a bright spotlight. It is.
Hopefully he's wearing shades because our spotlight is bright.
And his character, Pestilence. Though he only appeared in 2 episodes of Supernatural, Hammer of the Gods, starring Richard Speight Jr., and 2 Minutes to Midnight, not starring Richard Speight Jr.
That's one of my least favorite things about 2 Minutes to Midnight is that I'm not in it.
Right. And the other 317.
Yeah, I have a lot of beefs with all the richless episodes, you know.
But Matt's character, Pestilence, was felt all through season 5. He has a resume, though, that can't be summarized in 2 minutes. He played...
You can't do it. Not in 2 minutes. I'll start the stopwatch. We'll go over guaranteed. And go.
Among many things, he played the 80s icon, Max Headroom. Rich?
I mean, dude, it's a big deal. Really big deal in our youth.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't it start on MTV?
I remember him being interviewed by Letterman as Max Headroom, but I don't remember where it started.
Wow. I remember watching it on MTV. They would do little snippets. Today, you might call it a TikTok video. I mean, really, it was of the day that there were things like that MTV did. But it was just like little comedy snippets.
When you were young, did you think Martha Quinn was going to marry me? Because I did.
No, she definitely was into me. But Max Headroom was all over it, and it, again, I was about 12 years old, and it really made an impression. Again, for the kids of today, it's like watching your favorite YouTube person or TikTok person,
right?
But Matt's TV roles also include Orphan Black, The Magicians, Fear the Walking Dead, Timeless, Eureka. He even voiced the Pink Panther. His films include The Watchmen, Dawn of the Dead, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, his resume goes on and on and on.
You can't, dude, are you trying to do it in 2 minutes? You're going to fail.
He's also appeared in more Stephen King films and TV adaptations than any other actor. 6.
Oh, that's just barely more than what I have. 0.
Yeah, 6.
How many adaptations have you been on?
0. I'm tied for second with you.
Okay, so go with me on this journey. He has appeared in more Stephen King film and TV adaptations than you and me combined.
Whoa. Right, because 0 plus 0 is 0.
Yeah.
And 6 is greater than 0. Wow.
Nice answer, Northwestern.
I didn't realize there'd be so much math in this episode.
You're not going to get this done in 2 minutes,
I'm doing my best.
I'm
doing my best.
It's not going to happen.
Nevertheless, we could keep going, but let's talk to Matt. Hello, Matt.
Can you see me? I can see you.
Yeah, we can see you, man.
I can see you.
Now that AI has infected everything, I'm leery of everything now.
Yes.
And that's a heavy statement coming from you. And you're
I know. It's the modern paranoia. I started it all. Oh, God.
It's so true. Boy, talk about the monster that escaped.
No, I know. And it might be coming back. Yeah.
Is that right?
We're recording, aren't we? Recording. This is great.
Well, we're working. I'm recording
later. But we're.
Let's talk about it now. So what's
In fact,
what's the
my
idea?
next podcast after this is to talk about it. No. I did Fear the Walking Dead with AMC. We were sort of talking loosely about it, and then just sort of got together, and that was roughly 3 years ago. And now what's happened is it looks as though they're going to be a producing partner as opposed to being the network, and we're still looking for a place to call it home.
How cool. For all of our listeners, we're of course talking about Max Headroom, the role that you made famous. It became an 80s icon.
Which sounds like a brand name of aluminum, actually. But,
It does, but man, we have so much to talk to you about. That's not Max Headroom. But while we're on the topic, and Rob and I are of the generation where we were, impressionable teens when this all was coming about. It is so interesting how that was a reflection of future technology of the time, and now where we are with technology. It's such an interesting time capsule into what the future looked like from our perspective in the mid 80s,
Yeah, it was very prescient. I mean, in the ABC show, there's one scene where Ciora, the controller for the video journalist that I also played, the Edison Carter character, receives a message on her phone, and it goes, "You've got mail." And that was way before, obviously, email came came along,
Wow.
and there were a few, yeah, I mean, there were a few things sewn in that
Wow.
were tipping the collective hat towards what was coming.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, I hope that it
Wow.
manifests itself into what you're discussing about the AMC partnership.
Wow.
Because there's so much
Yeah.
more of that world to explore, especially the world we now live in.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole conceit for it was that it was 20 minutes into the future and we've arrived, and that's going to be my only concern is can it be enough of a threat, because it's already here and people have got used to it. So it's going to have a different sort of level or attack on the dread element that we have to figure out.
So, did you know Phil Segresha when you did Max Headroom?
Yeah, and so obviously when I saw his name on Supernatural, it was like, oh my God, the wheels come full circle, or the snake's pulling its tail or something. so no, it's very weird. Yeah,
Did that have to do with you getting the role of Pestilence?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know. It just sort of came up. So I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, because we've talked about it that was right at the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
Max Headroom was. Just hold that thought. We're coming right back. Thanks for listening, everybody. And now back to the episode. Well, let's go back to the beginning, Matt. How did you get your start in acting?
I was finishing up high school in Ontario, and I'd always enjoyed acting at school, and I was all lined up to do an honors degree course in biology at a university, and at the last minute, I pulled out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really want to be chopping up worms' hearts in Northern Ontario for the rest of my life, as appealing as that sounded.
Right.
And I went over to join the National Youth Theatre of Great Britain for 3 years, and then I had a classical training as an actor at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, and always intended on coming back to either Canada or the States, but I started getting work right away, and I did all the reps in England and some West End theatre and a lot of BBC stuff, and 2 or 3 films, and then the Max Headroom thing happened, and that's what brought me out to LA, and that's how it kind of kickstarted, and it really was a kickstart, because while I was in LA after Max, I didn't, I arrived in LA with playing this dual lead in this high profile series, so I didn't have to pound pavement. I was really fortunate.
That's amazing. And then that was it. Like that was the big start for you, was that role.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd been working as an actor for 11 years out in England.
Right.
So I was kind of ready for it.
Yeah.
And so it was something else that came along, and I was ready for the attention that it brought. But in retrospect, it was probably more important that I was ready for when they pulled the plug, because obviously, if you're a young actor and it's your first or second thing, and you get this high profile series, and then all of a sudden it stops, it's like, oh my God, what the hell do I do now? And I wasn't like that. It was like, okay, on to the next thing. I'm ready, because I was sort of in that rhythm.
Right. That's nice when it happens that way, because you have to, otherwise you get a warped idea of how it's supposed to work, and really
that's right.
We're making it up as we go along, right?
Yeah, and and then everybody goes out with their first paycheck and buys a house or whatever, and you're kind of like, well, careful, this isn't going to go on forever. And I think that's probably the most important thing. I think is to realize that the fame element and the money that goes with it and the notoriety is peaks and valleys, and if you don't look on it like that, it'll drive you insane, because there's so much rejection and heartache. Anybody that says, "Oh, should I be an actor?" I always go, "Well, probably not if you have to ask me, because it doesn't really matter what I think. It's you're gonna weather the slings and arrows, whatever happens. If you have to do it, don't do it unless you can't not do it."
Yeah, absolutely. So we we were really thrilled to see you as Pestilence in the show. You know, we're doing a rewatch, and we'd never really seen the show. We were both on the show, but we never sat down and watched it beginning to end. So it's really fun when faces pop up like yours, who of course we're familiar with you and your work. Do you remember how the role came to you? Did you audition? Was it an offer?
It was an offer, but it was 15 years ago too. And then of course, looking back over it, and just doing the convention, it suddenly hit me that the show's been on for 15 seasons.
Yeah.
And talking to Jared about it, he said, I know it's like 3 shows basically, but even that you sort of amortize that and you go, well, that's 3 shows of 5 seasons each. And these days, in the days of streaming, that never happens.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was just amazing. And I only did two episodes on it, but it was great fun. I mean, not only a wonderful group of actors, but all the producers, Phil included, obviously, and it was a lot of fun. Just that sort of offbeat, dark, somehow weirdly funny take on the whole thing.
Yeah, totally. That's a great way to describe it. Were you familiar with the four horsemen before you got the role? Was that something?
Well, only in terms of more classical literature.
Sure. The Bible and whatnot.
Sorry. I mean, it was fun playing Pestilence. I think my fondest memory probably was after the initial sneeze on the poor actor who I was sneezing on. He goes, all right, give me both barrels. I was like, are you sure? He was great. So
that's good.
It was fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of gross. I mean, a lot of this stuff is so gross.
It's so gross. It's not kind of gross. It's gross. It succeeds. And also just not just that you're sneezing on the guy, but what they used as the sneeze, as the goo. It's just,
yeah. The viscous bright green stuff. There used to be. It reminded me of there used to be a board game called Green Ghost, and you played it at night, and it was supposed to be this thing where you moved all the pieces around, but they all had that green glowing look, and it looked like they made it out of that stuff. It looked like it was probably nuclear.
Wow.
It was just nasty.
And so your entrance is in the episode Hammer of the Gods. Rich, you're in that episode, right?
Yeah, I am. But we did not cross paths in this.
You never did?
No.
Did Bob Singer direct that?
No, Rick Boda directed it. I'll clarify that. That was directed by Rick Boda.
And so, Matt, were you aware at all about coming back, or what the direction they're taking you, or anything like that?
No,
right.
Nothing.
Same.
I'm still not. I'm still waiting for the big call.
I gotta be honest. I'm really surprised that because when you did the show, you were already you. I mean, so I'm surprised they didn't go, hey, man, we need you for 3. They just kind of brought you in and left you hanging?
I don't know. In and out. That was it. Never heard back from anybody. Maybe I had the phone off the hook. I don't know. I didn't.
That's a trip. Well, it makes me feel better about our journey.
What would you say the difference is between playing a good guy versus playing a bad guy? Do you have a preference?
I mean, you've heard this a million times before, but the bad guys are more fun because they're, the canvas is wider. I mean, there's a certain set of expectations when you're playing the good guy that have to be fulfilled. Whereas with a bad guy, it's definitely a much bigger palette that you can paint on because the worse you are, the more they like you.
Right. Yeah, well, what you do as an actor too that's interesting. Even Max Headroom was like, you were scared of him, but he was also your hero. You put both in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could play bad guys that maybe are a little good or good guys that maybe have a little bit of, that's what I like about your performances. And even Pestilence too. It's not just out there like, scary bad guy. There was, you know what I mean? You played it subtly.
No, you have a bedside manner that's actually quite charming, which makes it way creepier.
Until you sneeze.
Nice bedside manner. Beware the doctor who's also a serial killer. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like performances, whether I'm doing it consciously or unconsciously, where you're not really sure whether you like the guy or not, and that it can be a little bit unsettling. Going back to the Fear of the Walking Dead thing, that was definitely that character. It's sort of like, hey, this is a guy I'd like to have a beer with, but I don't trust him. And there's a sort of a little bit of an unsettling cuddling charm about guys like that. I think, and I guess it's the sort of Ted Bundy factor. But he seemed like such a nice young guy. Well, that's why you let him in through the front door.
Right.
You know?
It was terrifying.
Well, and you utilize that skill set, I think, in almost every role you have, to Rob's point. And certainly in this role in Supernatural, you lean into the, for lack of a better phrase, the nice guy element of Pestilence. You know, Pestilence feels like to me somebody who's doing this out of the sense of this is what he's built to do, less than a mustache twirling savoring of evil. But maybe that's just your performance. I mean, like, I do think that it could have been easy to make this a one-note trumpet, and it is not. Was that fun finding that balance in that character?
Yeah, it reminds me of my favorite saying of all time, which is the road to hell is not a slippery slope. It's a step-by-step conscious descent. And Pestilence is definitely one of those guys that facilitates that. You know, just take one more step. It's fine. And then the person, you know, takes one more step. That's not too bad. And, you know, one more step and you compromise yourself a bit further. You get corrupted just a touch more until you end up in Satan's lap polishing his apples and going, how did I get here? Well, one step at a time.
Right.
And I think he's definitely he's a facilitator of that.
Right.
That, hey, it's okay. Come on down.
Right. That juxtaposition.
A little warmer down here.
Yeah.
I'm hung up on the image of, I'll think of a name, Rob Benedict sitting in Satan's lap polishing his apples. I just think that's a very, very,
Thank you. I'll take it.
These are low standards.
very visual description there. It's funny. Your description of how to get to hell is how most people describe how to get to Carnegie Hall. Yeah, it's very similar.
That's right. Compromise and corruption.
Yeah. Well, it stands out because of the way that you play it. In the hospital, you know, you're explaining to a woman that she was your human petri dish, and the delivery is like seemingly kind, but the words are not, you know.
Yeah, it really is. You're like,
yeah,
good old small town doc.
Yeah, and that's that sort of trustworthy thing.
Yeah.
It's it's the Ted Bundy factor, I guess.
Yeah. It's an odd.
He seemed great.
Yeah.
Was there anything that grossed you out on set? I mean, like you said, like the character, you know, there's snot and slime involved. Are you kind of good with whatever with that kind of thing?
I'm good with whatever. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I mean, I think the only disconcerting bit was I think one of the props guys brought it out in a bucket, and to see that volume of snot. Oh my God. And then in post to see the flurry of flies in the car was fun. But
is that all? That was all digital added later.
It was all post. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So listen, you ended up working with Kripke again in Timeless.
Yeah.
Did you and Kripke ever talk about your time on Supernatural? Was that ever a conversation you had?
No, I think he was otherwise engaged right from the time that I saw him on my first night on set, because we were reimagining the Hindenburg blowing up. So it was a big.
Yeah, that sounds small.
Yeah, that was about to go. So he had other stuff on his plate, and that was really the only time we had to chat, and it was really a lot of, okay, I got to go now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it was very good to reconnect with him, albeit for a short time. Yeah.
Well, a creative guy, man. He does cool stuff. It's good that you guys were able to, circle back.
Yeah. Now, are you in Canada?
Yeah.
That's where your home is.
Yeah. Can't you tell with the smoke?
Are you Canadian? Is that your home country?
I'm dual. So depending on who's hijacking the plane.
Nice.
I have two passports. Which is really good, but we're sending you the smoke without tariff.
Oh, thank you. Because we wouldn't do the same, you know?
Yeah.
And so now we were hinting a little bit at the beginning of this conversation about what might be in store for Max Headroom. Aside from that, what other fun Matt Frewer shows and projects do you have coming up?
I just finished a horror movie, a vampire movie, which was a lot of fun. And that's in post now, so hopefully within the next year or so, called Casket Girls. And then before that, I was doing an NBC show called The Hunting Party, which I don't know whether they're going to do another season or not. Before that, I was George Martin film, Mr. Game of Thrones, called The Summer Machine.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun. It was best described, I guess, as a post nuclear Wizard of Oz, and I was playing the wizard. So it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
See what happens with that. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. We look forward to seeing all that. You did a convention a few weeks ago in England with my partner, Ruth Connell was there, and she spoke so highly of you.
Yeah. Oh, she's a sweetie. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's such a treat to see on the show, and
you're so great in the show, man, in the role. Like to be one of those 4 cornerstones of the apocalypse is so fantastic. And again, since we already grew up knowing and loving your work, it was a real treat to have you pop up in that role, and you're so good at it.
Oh, well, thank you guys. So it's very, very kind of you to say. It was great fun to be a small part in a big show. So
yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah. Well, we always say, just rewatching the show, the guest stars are so great, so impressive. And, we're always like, how'd they land that guy?
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's how we felt with you. You're like, you're so good. And you add a lot to the show. I know it was just 2 episodes, but it does add a lot to the show. It really elevates the show to see someone like you.
Oh man. Yeah. It elevate is correct. And by the way, you're elevating this podcast. So thank you for coming and doing this. We appreciate it very much.
Okay, one last question. The Supernatural, it features cars are a big extension of characters on Supernatural. The boys, drive, they call Baby, their 67 Impala.
You were a car. What kind of car would you be?
No.
Wait, Barbara Walters.
So for the 4 Horsemen, Death was a 1959 white Cadillac. War was a 1965 red Mustang. Famine was a black Cadillac Escalade. But Pestilence had like a pale green AMC Hornet wagon.
Yeah.
With a muffler problem.
I hope that wasn't, you didn't take that personally.
That was interesting, I guess.
No, I think that was a very wise choice because it involved congestion.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just congestion and full pipes that needed to be emptied. So
makes sense, yeah. And the pale green, the color of snot, so that,
It's all the theme, the gross theme continues.
Right, let the river flow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this conversation, man. It's really awesome chatting with you.
Thank you for inviting me on, and great yakking with you guys. So hopefully we meet again down the road.
Oh, I'm sure we will, and we look forward to it.
Hey there, this is Jared Padalecki, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. But we got to pull over for a second for some messages.
Hey there, thanks for listening. Now, back to the episode.
Dude, I mean, we grew up with him.
Yeah, man. I was like a little bit starstruck, I got to be honest.
Well, I remember you said something in our interview that I'm glad you said, because there are those people who show up in Supernatural and you go, wait, how'd they get that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he's one of those guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, his face, because Max Headroom, it's the computerized, his face with sort of a filter over it, but it's his face, just, front and center. And so I was probably 12 years old, watching MTV, and that was, it was burned into my memory. So it was really wild. I hadn't met him. Producer Steve asked me if I'd met him. I hadn't. So
didn't you think it was funny, that we're doing a podcast? So he's in a little square on our TV, like Max Headroom.
Yes, totally. Absolutely.
Really trippy.
Really wild. And again, that show was very, almost a foreshadow of what was to come.
I think Phil, you may have crossed this bridge when I was dealing with a kid issue, but
I did.
That Phil worked with him back in the day.
Yeah, Phil worked on Max Headroom, but he wasn't sure whether or not Phil was responsible for getting his role on the show or not.
I don't know. We can ask Phil next time we have Phil.
Yeah, but I mean, surely it was, because
it may have been as easy as Phil pitched the idea. I think it's a no-brainer in the casting department. You know what I mean?
Sure, totally. But that was fun.
It was great. I love these spotlight interviews, man. They're really cool.
Yeah. And a good thing he's so busy, because it's a great actor.
Indeed. Dude, even interviewing him, he's just such a fascinating look in his face, and he's so expressive. And
yeah, totally. Good guy.
Good interview, good times, good grief.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Speight Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine, written by Stephen Hine and Haida Holscher.
And edited and associate produced by Trey Booty.
Who happens to be pregnant.
Who's pregnant.
What's up, Booty? guy? You pregnant guy?
Music provided by Tim Wynn.
The episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuels Studios.
This podcast from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and YouTube at SPN Then and Now.
Become a member of the podcast to get early access chat rooms with other podcast fans and video interviews at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
/pregnant.
No.
You know what's interesting? We've done Frewer Stephen King films than he has. You're welcome. Trey, don't cut that out.
Trey, don't you cut that out. We need a t-shirt that says, Trey, don't cut it out.
You've disappeared, Steve.
Yeah, he does that. He does
It's okay.
that
He's-
mid-interview.
He just watches.
Story Mill Media.
The Old West is an iconic period of American history and full of legendary figures whose names still resonate today, like Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Butch and Sundance, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Geronimo, Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, and Bass Reeves, Buffalo Bill Cody, Wild Bill Hickok, the Texas Rangers, and many more. Hear all their stories on the Legends of the Old West podcast. We'll take you to Tombstone, Deadwood, and Dodge City, to the plains, mountains, and deserts for battles between the U.S. Army and Native American warriors, to dark corners for the disaster of the Donner Party, and shining summits for achievements like the Transcontinental Railroad. We'll go back to the earliest days of explorers and mountain men, and head up through notorious Pinkerton agents and gunmen like Tom Horn. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. I'm Chris Wimmer. Find Legends of the Old West wherever you're listening now.
Does music really have the power to heal? How can you instantly be more persuasive? What would the world be like if there were no bugs? These are the kind of topics we explore in every episode of my podcast called Something You Should Know. My name is Mike Carruthers, and what we do on Something You Should Know is we find leading experts and curate topics that will impact your life, satisfy your curiosity, or simply fascinate you, maybe all of the above. Out of all the millions of podcasts in the universe, Something You Should Know is usually ranked in the top 200 of all podcasts on Apple. A lot of people like Something You Should Know, and I'm willing to bet you will too. We deliver 3 episodes a week and have a catalog of over 1,000 shows for you to listen to. Give a listen to Something You Should Know, wherever you get your podcasts.